Welcome to Starting from Scratch. No dogs raised, sold, or bred for any illegal purposes. This is strictly for historical and educational purposes only. Understanding the Eli and Carver cross. Starting from scratch. Many fanciers don't understand that many great foundation American Pit Bull Terriers started with this cross. They don't understand that this cross started with Tudor's Debo and Fitzwater's Champion Goldie, producing great dogs for Carver and other dog men in the history. This cross produced Carver's Miss Spike, Mayfield's Champion Jughead, and Stockton's Champion Big Liz. Maurice would use Clouds and Zeke and Black Widow lines to produce his great lines of the American Pit Bull Terrier that he was known for. Eli Jr. and Clouds and Zeke would be a big part of the success of these dogs, such as Carver's Orphan Annie and Carver's Orphan Annie 2. Carver's Orphan Annie and Nene Bolel were both sired by Clouds and Zeke. I will show you and give you examples of this cross that dogmen used in the past and had great success. We're going to start with Surreal's Champion Hard Eyes. Is a great example of Clouds and Zeke and Wilding's Bully Son cross. Phenomenal dog, phenomenal producer. Another example would be Snake Man's Grand Champion Pedro, who is an awesomely bred dog and a great producer. From the Eli Jr. and Orphan Annie 2 cross. This cross is all through Snake Man's Grand Champion Pedro's pedigree, as you can see. Another example would be Mailman's Champion Homer Jr. From the Dabo and Goldie to the Eli and Zeke cross. These lines, bred together, produced outstanding offspring. Now we're going to talk about in today's American Pit Bull Terriers. Looking back at the success of dogmen in the past, today's crosses look like this. The Maverick and Bolio crosses that produce phenomenal offspring and they get it from generations before them. Yeah, generations before them, when they're selectively bred, produces that quality American Pit Bull Terrier. That's what I learned from hours of studying pedigrees and breedings of some of the great past breeders of the American Pit Bull Terrier. P. Carver's Stompanato will be another example of that cross that produces consistently. When you're talking about the Tudor's Diabo and Fitzwater's Goldie Cross, that's what you're talking about. The mixture of Eli and Bolio, Eli Jr., Clouds, and Zeke. Those crosses produce great dogs. There are many Eli and Carver bred dogs today. Too many to name. That's how great the Eli and Carver dogs are and were. This is starting from scratch. Hit the like, subscribe button. More content coming about this great topic. Fitzwater's Goldie, Tudor's Debo, or as some people will call it today, the Eli and Carver cross. Stay tuned. More to come.